your tip?
I am going to go with my big man here, the Thunder. So I think it's building up. They've just charged onto the ground. They're all set to go, aren't they?
They certainly are. It's tense times, but we are ready to get underway. We're just moments away. Really exciting stuff indeed. BBL 5, the big final is upon us. Let's go up to the commentary box now. For the very first time, it's a very good evening to Mark Howard. Howie.
Hi, Mel. Fantastic scene at the MCG. Jack Cullis back in the side for the Sydney Thunder as the Stars boys come out to a big home reception. Stoinis and Wright at the top of the order. Stoinis was good in the semi-final. Luke Wright missed out. I'm joined by Ricky Ponting and Damien Fleming. Firstly, you, Rick, how do you go about keeping things the same when it's a final, when it's a big one? You've done it in World Cups finals, big Ashes tests. How do you go about keeping things just calm and cool?
Well, that's the coach's job, really, Howie. The last couple of days, knowing that they had their home semi-final, about trying to keep a bit of a lid on it, keep the players calm, keep them under control, and just keep them believing in what they've been doing is going to be good enough on the big stage in a final. They've played some great cricket the last few weeks of the Melbourne Stars. They've just got to go out and play the same way tonight and not try too hard. It's probably the biggest thing in a final like this.
Damien Fleming, we can see Andre Russell, one of the players of the tournament. He bowls, he bats, he catches, he raps. He's the complete package.
He's been a superstar, hasn't he? He's just such an impact player. And I reckon in that first game against the Sixers, particularly with the ball, Howie, I reckon he shook up the Sixers' top order with his pace, bounces and his Yorkers as well. But Marcus Stoinis scored 40-odd in the last game, a very important knock with Kevin Pietersen opening up. They've got a short leg in place, boys. You don't see that a lot in T20 cricket.
No, you don't, Flem, but I reckon Mike Hussey started with that particular fieldsman in most games when Andre Russell's had the ball in his hand. Likes to bowl a short one early on, but he also tries to pitch this brand new ball up and swing it away. So that short leg will just get inside the batsman's mind, maybe trying to keep him back in his crease, and then Russell will pitch it up and try and swing it out.
Yeah, I mean, Stoinis does go quite hard with his hands. He doesn't play with soft hands to work singles. A lot of the time that dots or fours. So those guys that go quite hard at the ball can get an inside edge to short leg or a slip in place too, punter, when he plays away from his body.
So we're set for a start in the big final. Both sides in the final for the first time. Andre Russell, he's been one of the standouts of the competition. Mike Hussey, last time we see him play cricket in Australia. See the kids counting down to a start. There's a slip and short leg in. Russell, 15 wickets for the tournament. And a comedy rate of 7.8, but more than that, he's bowled quickly. Short! And he hits Stoinis, first ball. That was nasty.
It's a nasty start. That's why that short leg's in there, Flem. Give him a look at a short one early on. Just keep him back in his crease now. With the batsman double thinking about where this second ball is going to be.
Geez, that was meaty, wasn't it? Wow, in the chest. Thought about playing the pull shot. It was too quick. It was on him. Very, very fast.
Yeah, 142 Ks, that one. Few nerves there from Stoinis, I reckon.
This time he gets on the pads. Stoinis is away. He'll enjoy that. He's timed it well out to the square leg boundary.
Wow.
And that'll calm him down.
Tell you that outfield's quick. He just looked like he didn't quite get that in the middle of the bat, but a deflection through the leg side has flown for 4.
Well, if you have a short leg in place, you can't have a square leg in place, can you? It didn't swing away. You can see that he was just trying to pitch it up a little bit more and get a little bit of outswing on that one. It didn't shape at all, right in the middle of Marcus Stoinis' bat, and he's off the mark with a boundary. That'll settle him down a little bit.
Good cricket there. Excellent delivery from Dre Ross. Good pace, 140 kilometres an hour. But Stoinis steady in his defence.
Social media. Oh, Mike Baird, he's the Premier of New South Wales. Hope you're at the tennis tonight. Daniel Andrews, MP, the Victorian Premier. Not sure he'll enjoy what the Thunder are about to inflict on the Stars. Hello to Mr. Baird. Glad you're watching.
See, the competition's getting all around society. Howie?
He was blowing up the Bachelor with his tweets earlier on in the year, the New South Wales Premier. It's down the leg side. He's down again, Russell. He's had problems with his boots throughout the tournament. Have you got any advice for him?
Well, he was a noted breakdancer in his youth, Dre Russ, so just pulling a few moves there. But what I like about that is he's obviously putting a full effort into every delivery. Like his momentum through the crease is actually making him. So once you deliver the ball, falling on the ground doesn't mean anything.
No, that's right. It's nothing to do with his boots. It just goes to show how much he's charging in and how much he's putting into every single delivery he's bowling.
Does make a caught and bowl quite hard though, lads.
Pitched up to Stoinis. Boys, we hear in our football codes about the home crowd and the extra man of the advantage. Does it come into play in a cricket ground? Because I think with Mark Waugh, there's probably about 7 Thunder supporters here in total tonight.
There won't be many here. We won't expect to see too many lime green shirts in the crowd. Oh, look, I'm not a big believer in the home ground advantage with cricket, Howie, especially in short form cricket where the pitches are pretty much all the same. So there's no advantage with the surface, maybe a fraction with the noise in the crowd. Short again from Russell. It's another beauty. It says 135 there on the speed gun. I think it was a bit quicker than that. I reckon Marcus Stoinis thinks it was a bit quicker than that as well.
Yeah, that's the perfume ball. Just smell the leather as it goes past. Good pace, on the money as well. This is intimidating bowling. You don't see a lot of this in T20 cricket, but this is what Russell has brought to this big bash. Fast bowling and big hitting, and brilliant fielding as well. Through the leg side, it should be just 1. So an exciting first over from Russell, number 6.
Great shots over at the MCG. Already 50,000 people here. It's been a pretty good start by Andre Russell. He bowled some real heat and shook Stoinis up. And now Shane Watson opens up with the ball again, Flem.
Yeah, not as much cricket this summer for Shane Watson, so I wonder if his body's actually the best it's been for a few years. He started to hit the ball well opening, but I think his pace with the ball has been exceptional, and he's always been a very, very good thinking man's bowler too.
Well, he swung it, didn't he, in the power play in Adelaide. Got Jaya Wardner with a beautiful outswinger. Will it swing here in Melbourne? Just a little bit of skid. Stay down a little bit. It's more of a skiddy type bowler, isn't he, Flam? He gets the seam up, hits the deck, doesn't get a lot of bounce, Shane Watson, but skids onto you a little bit quicker than you'd expect.
Yeah, I had a look at the pitch too. There's not a lot of live green grass, so I don't think the new ball's going to swing for a good period of time, but there should be some good pace and bounce. It was quite hard, the MCG pitch.
Luke Wright hasn't faced a ball yet. Stoinis is 5 off 7. He advances this time straight to Andre Russell. First wicket, Shane Watson. Marcus Stoinis departs. Great start for the Thunder.
Well, that's that skiddy type of bowler that I was talking about, how he hits his lengths well. Shane Watson hits the deck hard. Stoinis gave himself a little bit of room, open the front leg. Tried to hit him straight down the ground, but was done for pace. Hit high on the bat and just ballooned for a straightforward catch to Russell at mid-off.
Yeah, big wicket, well bowled from Shane Watson, hitting a good line and length on the Bunnings Warehouse replay. You can see Stoinis not in control. Watto's got his arm up already. Russell is taking some fantastic catches in this bash. Look at the fans in Sydney, boys.
The Wentworthville RSL clubs look like they're taking to a Palmer as well while they're enjoying the action.
Not sure he's even watching, was he? He's more interested in the Palmer and his...
Must be Pot and Palmer night down there. So 1.2 overs, 1 for 6. Cometh the moment, cometh the man. The star of the Melbourne Stars in many respects. A wonderful innings in the semi-final, 72 off 36. It was Luke Wright, who's been the other fantastic import for this side, faces his first ball. Stoinis caught Russell by Watson for just 5. These are the 2 big players now at the crease for the Melbourne Stars.
Well, the 2 imports from England. Luke Wright scored 100 at the MCG in this big bash, and Kevin Pietersen got the Stars home in the semi-final. See, he's just gearing up here. He's played a few shots in his warm-up.
Yeah, that's the nerves coming out there. Luke Wright, exactly the same. What are we now? 9 balls in to this innings. Luke Wright just faced the one. He's not off the mark yet. He'll still be nervous. Nicely bowled from Watson, pushed hard, straight to Hussey at mid-on, no run.
Well, it's been first-class line and length from Shane Watson, just testing out whether there is any swing, any seam movement, just hitting the top of off stump, that sort of length. Very experienced cricketer these days. A lot of great all-rounders in the Sydney Thunder team. There's another one, Russell. Jarks Callis back in for this game too, lads. So a lot of three-dimensional players for the Sydney Thunder.
I think he'll open the batting up. Watson's gone reasonably well at the top of the order.
Yeah, I think he probably has to, though, Howie. I'm thinking a bit along the same lines as you, though. I think Watson at the top of the order in that sort of form. You want your best players in there as early as you can. But saying that, if Callis doesn't open, then the lower he bats, the harder the job becomes for him.
Talking about Watson, it's been a great start by him. 1 wicket, 5 dots. Wright gets tucked up and he'll whip through to get off the mark. So they're under pressure early, the home side. 2 done. They're 1 for 7. The mighty MCG in the middle of shot. You can just see off to the left there. Melbourne Park, where the Australian Open is currently taking place. And it looks like a change of bowler. Clint Mackay comes into the attack. He's the leading wicket taker in the competition. He's been absolutely fantastic. 17 wickets at 8 Flem.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Very experienced. Did a fine job for Australia in one-day cricket as well. Played the one test at the Wacker. But they're excellent figures. 17, an average of 14. Economy rate okay as well. I think he'll enjoy the bounce of this MCG pitch.
Couldn't get a game. He was playing for the Melbourne Stars last season. Wright whips it away. There's a man out on the square leg fence. He'll look to come back for a second. He was starved of opportunities at the Melbourne Stars, Flem, so it's been a great move for him. Yeah,
definitely. He played the last 3 or 4 games for the Melbourne Stars, but got a good deal from the Thunder. And they've enjoyed his experience. He's one of the main reasons that they're into this final. Very accurate. We know he bowls a good slow ball at the closing overs as well.
The pick of the tournament, wasn't he? From our fellow commentator.
The find.
The find of the tournament. The top find.
Yep, Junior reckons he's got 12 more years in the Big Bash.
And as we've seen in previous games as well, boys, Mike Hussey continuing to shuffle his bowlers around in the power play. Rarely have we seen him this year at all have a bowler bowl 2 overs straight early on. Well, I guess he can afford to do that with the experience he's got with his bowling attack as well. Russell, Watson, Mackay, Callis will probably bowl an over in the power play.
Yeah, you just back him to get it right straight away.
Luke Wright will just be starting to feel a bit edgy here. He likes to get away to a fly with his cut shots and his pull shots. He's just 3 off 6 at the moment.
The bowl very straight, haven't they? There's been no cut shots. They've been worked a couple of times into the leg side, but disciplined bowling. Okay.
Well, a little bit too straight. Just a little bit too straight. I'll tell you what the other thing they've done is, though, they haven't pitched the ball up.
Yeah.
Luke Wright loves to stand and deliver, doesn't he? Loves to wait for the ball to be over-pitched and hit the ball hard back down the ground or through the covers. The Thunder bowlers haven't allowed him to do that so far.
Yeah, it's a good call, that punter. Nothing like a half volley early to get you going. Oh, he's gone in the air this time. That should go all the way. It does. So Luke Wright unleashes the first 6 of the final.
His teammate just taking a step out of the dugout down there and hanging on to the crowd catch as well. There he is.
Seb Gotch.
Seb Gotch just takes a pretty straightforward catch. But there's the first ball that was over-pitched to Luke Wright. Over-pitched right into his arc. Free swing of the bat. It's a maximum.
That'll feel better. Oh, yes.
Good catch.
I'll tell you who else feels better about that is the non-striker as well. Kevin Pietersen will feel a lot better about that. The pressure was just starting to build up. He hasn't faced the ball yet. You need to be scoring from both ends.
This time he gets his favourite cut shot and he beats the man a point. Bit of work to do on the boundary. They'll come back for a second.
Tell you what, the atmosphere's outstanding, isn't it?
A few boos for the
Clint Mackay is a Victorian. Would have got cheered when he was playing for Australia.
Shane Watson, the man doing the fielding down there. Bay 13, just stopping right into him.
Watto's right in front of that position too.
Slower ball. Mackay dragged down. Misfield by Ahmed. They'll get through for one.
So Pietersen will come on strike for the first time, and in the semi-final he came out with real positive intent, didn't he?
It'd be interesting. He was chasing, wasn't he, punter? Whereas obviously today he's trying to set a total. Whether that'll change his batting a little bit.
And I think it probably will, to tell the truth. They've lost an early wicket already. We know what the stats are with teams losing 3 wickets in the power play. It's very hard to win T20 games if you do that. I think if there's an obvious ball there for him to hit, he'll try and take that opportunity, but I don't see him taking too many risks.
I like those 2 mid-wickets too.
Yeah, different field. Does clip the ball in the air through the leg side, Pietersen. Fine leg's also very square. He's just behind square out there.
So where's Mackay got a bowl with that field?
He's got a bowl off stump and quite full, I would imagine. Pietersen, if anything, will get his front foot across into the line, try and work the ball through leg side. Walks across his stumps, there he goes.
Oh, gee whiz, walks way across his stumps. He's taken that from the foot outside off. He's full of confidence, the big man from the UK. A remarkable boundary first ball. 1 for 23 from 3. Dr. Chris and Julia, and the envelope's coming at the 5th over. Rick, you're opening with a 3rd clue. You're still adamant that your man SK Warren.
I reckon I got him before the first clue came out, Howie. I don't think much can change after the 2nd clue, can it?
Well, you might be right. I tell you, if it is him, it'll be hard not to watch. Crikey. So Jack Callis.
I wasn't missing anything, I can tell you that.
Callis is into the attack. Take on Luke Wright, who's 12 off 9.
It's a good bounce, isn't it, from Callis? Nowhere near the pace he used to be, but I remember facing him in a couple of one-dayers. He come on in about the 25th over and he hit the bat as hard as anyone.
Well, that's what's happened there. That's just skidded on a little bit more than Luke Wright expected. Hit the bat hard, as you say, Flem. Once again, Hussey going to another different bowler in this power play. Talk about confidence. You reckon Kevin Pietersen's confident at the moment? That first shot he played, first ball, walked all the way across outside off stump. Admittedly, it was an inside edge. Short again from Callis. That'll be 4. 2 short and 2 straight.
You can see that Wright sets himself up for that short ball, whether he's playing the cut or the pull shot.
You see the fans with a Weet-Bix 6 and 4 signs. It was $1,000 in the preliminary rounds. Tonight, one lucky fan wins $10,000 for being picked up on the ground. Big screen, waving their boundary card when a boundary's hit. So, yeah, nice night at the cricket. Walking home with 10 loans.
Oh, bold.
A slightly better length on that occasion from Callis.
KP got a tweet apparently earlier today saying, will this be the last time I see my favourite player? Won't be the last. I've got 2 more years with the Stars. Plus, in the second year, I'm playing the Ashes between the Big Bash games. He's been hanging out with the confident West Indians, KP.
I told you he's
I thought you were saying he tweeted that just then. He does everything, KP.
I like it. Rick, what's it like? And I'm being serious here because you were the man frequently. You go out to bat for Australia and you were the man. Whether it was a World Cup final or an Ashes, does it grind you down or does it pump you up, having to be the man to deliver on the big occasions? Because everyone tonight, for the Stars, they think, right, it's about that man there.
Oh, to be honest, it pumps you up a little bit, if anything. But if you're not pumped up yourself with this sort of environment and stage that's been set, then you'll never be pumped up. Look, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the extra challenge of big games, and obviously being a top order player, there's probably slightly more responsibility on you as well. But you know, the other thing that happens as well, Howie, in these sort of situations, if you go out there and play well now, I guarantee you won't even hear the noise out there.
Swing and a miss? How do you mean?
You just have this mechanism to be able to block all that stuff out. You get yourself so focus on what you have to do, that a lot of the crowd noise and what an opponent might have to say to you just doesn't go anywhere. So that's the way I felt on a few occasions when I was out there. Andrew Simons was exactly the same. World Cup in South Africa, he made 140 odd not out in the first game. I sat with him at the innings break, and as the highlights are coming up, I said, "Oh, what do you reckon about this shot, mate? Or what do you reckon about that shot?" He couldn't remember any of the shots that he's played through his innings.
Final ball of the over. Wright gets it on the hit. Tucks it away hard, but there's a man sweeping. Really even contest at the moment. 5 off the over, 4 done, 1 for 28.
The next man at the crease, Peter Hanscom will bat 4. The captain, David Hussey, 5. Rob Quiney coming in at number 6. As the Stars now are 1 for 28 from 4 overs, 2 overs remaining in the power play. And as by script, Hussey goes back to Andre Russell. This is exactly the same way that Hussey used the bowlers in the semi-final as well. Russell bowled over 5 and Clint Mackay came back on to bowl over number 6 and close out the power play. Jar Callis makes his way from slip all the way around to another one at backward point. In comes Russell.
Full to right. They won't get a single. How difficult is it, Flem, to be bowling 1 over spells?
Well, I think this modern day, you just got to be ready to go, haven't you? And I think what Punter was saying earlier, he goes to his experienced bowlers, Russell, Mackay, Watson and Callis. So you back them to get their stock ball going straight away.
Well, the other thing as well, I don't think it's hard because they probably know what overs they are bowling. I think that looks like the way they're going about it here. The Thunder, short again from Russell, called wide on this occasion.
Gee, that looked harsh, that one.
Yeah, Russell didn't enjoy it.
One of it's just been a little bit too paced, this pitch as well. We see early, that's not a wide. I want to see a few short balls because it also brings in the pull and hook shot, Punter, that you used to love playing that shot.
Yep, I reckon in this game now, Flem, let him go for it. As long as it's not, ridiculously high, let him bowl the short ones. Short again, that was quick as well from Russell.
Good start, isn't it? Just that extra pace. The other boys bowling in the 130s, low 130s, but Russell, when he gets it into the 140s, you can see that there is a bit of apprehension. You can sense the hostility from this West Indian.
Well, to start with, they're not thinking about playing that pull shot, are they? They're worried about that extra pace. Will I get a top edge and lob one out to square leg? Slower ball. Great variation from Russell.
You wouldn't have had a problem.
I think I'll be waiting for it.
You'd be compulsive.
Yeah, I think I'll be waiting for it. And there's no deep square in either, Flem, so I wouldn't have been able to help myself.
It's a big gap. Good change up, though. That's 20 kilometres slower than his stock delivery. Andre Russell, and I think he's just emerged through this tournament as a superstar at T20 cricket.
Ooh, he pulls his head out of the way and gets it round the corner.
Is that a duck hook?
On that.
We saw Russell play one at the SCG.
143.1 kilometres. That one was a big smile, comes on the face of Luke Wright. Oh, just get it away from me. Get that thing away from me.
It's still pretty much off the middle of the bat too, boys, isn't it? Look at that.
He's done well there.
Pietersen's only faced 1 ball. He came out on the wicket after 8 deliveries.
He's been out there 16 minutes, Howie.
Yeah, and he's played one outrageous shot off the inside of the bat for a boundary.
I'm looking forward to this contest, though. Russell at close to 90 miles an hour. KP practicing or looking around for that pull hook shot.
Catching mid-wicket in place again, boys. Callis comes from backward point into the box at mid-wicket. Full.
He gets full.
Should just be one.
Oh,
It's knocked on.
Sloppy. Well bowled, though, from Russell, 147 kilometres an hour. It would have been just a little bit of an inkling from Pietersen. It was going to be a short ball.
You can't afford those little mistakes, though, can you? To a guy as confident as Pietersen is at the moment, you're going to be jumping on everything you possibly can.
David Warner, boys sitting in watching The Duke into his third. Mate, congratulations to the Duke. He's been fantastic with the ball since he came into that side. Must be all those toasted sandwiches he got through, Flynn.
No, fantastic. Really controlled the situation against the Indians.
He was shaping.
That might be a
wide.
It was great to see Mitchell Marsh get his first 100 for Australia too last night.
Yeah, terrific, wasn't it? He's been starved of opportunities right through the summer, really, hasn't he, with the bat? He's done his fair share of bowling, especially through the test matches, but great to see another Marsh with an international century.
Oh, 3 of them now, Jeff and Sean. Now Mitchell joins the club. Last ball here from Russell, 5 off. Ooh, another inside edge from KP. He'll retain the strike for next over. After 5, it's 1 for 34.
Nice crowd in at the MCG. Not many in the light green of the Sydney Thunder. A lot of Melbourne Stars fans here. Doing the sprinkler. That would have been you in your heyday, Flem.
Didn't actually bring it in when I got a wicket. Didn't take it that far.
You'd have to if you played the modern game.
You're too busy giving the batsman a send-off when you've got a wicket.
Ease up, Rick. Sprinkler. Not me, Rick.
So Callis to Pietersen. KP advances and beats the man. He got it on the up and just punched it away over the man at mid-on, and it's a good boundary.
Because you liked that one, didn't you, Howie?
I did.
You just give me a little demo here, right next door, but he just got down the track a little bit there, Pietersen. Shimmy down, knowing that Callis is going to bowl that slight back of a length. Got enough of it to get it over mid-on.
It's a good shot, isn't it? We saw in Callis's first over that Luke Wright got one shot away, but he generally just stayed in his crease. But Kevin Pietersen moving around, but his frame of mind, you just sense that he's just trying to put some doubt into the bowler's mind, and it's working so far. Yeah,
well, it's interesting, isn't it, that they're going with the 2 catching mid-wickets. I wonder if they might be better staggering those guys a little bit. Having one there catching on that 3rd wicket over, Ben Rohrer can stay where he is. Maybe push Shane Watson just back on the circle.
Yeah.
Pietersen's looking to hit the ball over the ring, out of the infield. Get another one back there and get inside his mind a little bit.
Gee, that was the hit there to hit through the offside. A wide length ball outside off stump. You can't believe he's missed it, KP. Vacant area out there on the offside.
Yeah, well, that comes
couple
about.
Of points and a mid-off.
That miss there from Pietersen comes about because he's thinking about Callis bowling straight. With that field, Callis really had to bowl straight. He double bluffed him through and out wide. Brought in a dot ball. Change of field, though, now, boys. 3rd man up onto the ring, and mid-on will go all the way back.
And imagine there'll be no room outside off stump now. Full and straight. Oh, there is room, and he gets it through. Poor bowling there from Callis. Field wasn't set for that one.
That's a captain killer. Absolute captain killer. It was a change of pace. Slower ball from Callis. He just got the line wrong. With mid-on back, you can afford to bowl that slower ball. But the line was just all wrong. Look how wide it is. Allowed Pietersen to free his arms. He got enough bat on it to beat the guys in the circle behind point on the offside. 4 more.
He was 15 off 7 in the semi-final as well, Kevin Pietersen. Another slower ball. Better line there from Callis. Good batting from KP, though, just getting himself down the other end.
Yep, that's where he wanted that last ball. Exactly there. Really tight to that off stump. Positive start again from Pietersen.
Where would you rather be in the MCG? With the kids there right up the top, having a great night and hoping to see Kevin Pietersen continue, I'd imagine. Talking to a few of the young kids outside the ground, they all love KP. How things turn in 5 years. And that is the end of the over and the end of the power play. So a good comeback after the early loss of Stoinis. They're 1 for 43 after 6. Now, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here, Rick. It's causing the whole internet to blow up. We've got the final clue. So we had an international sports star was clue 1. And then we had a cricketer. You've been pumping up Warnie. So
cricketing megastar, wasn't it? I think. And we've got the big gold envelope tonight as well.
Come on, punter.
I'm intrigued.
You look nervous. You generally look nervous there.
Nervous.
What have you got for us?
This international cricketing megastar is Australian.
Warning, lock him in, you reckon?
Lock it in.
Really?
Lock it in.
Definitely Shane Warne.
There it is.
Okay.
Warnie in the jungle.
It is one. Well,
Tell you what, I'll be watching.
If I wasn't convinced before, I'll tell you what, from what I know about Warnie in the bush, it's going to be must-see television, I can tell you right now.
Well, didn't John Buchanan take you boys up the bush and there was lawsuits nearly came out of that one?
Yeah, well, not from Warnie. There are a few other boys that were thinking
Might
about
have been another
lawsuits.
leg spinner, I think.
Well, we're allowed, I'll tell you what I could take. A little backpack and a sleeping bag, a pair of undies, a pair of socks, a pair of tracky pants, and a T-shirt. And somehow the king managed to get about half a dozen packets of smokes in his backpack.
Wasn't that what woke you up in the morning?
Yeah, the smell of smoke, or just that little red ember you could see before the sun came up.
That was the same as rooming with David Boone. He was a very quiet man, and then just in the morning, you just see that little orange fizz in the morning.
Come on, Shane,
tweet
us in. Tweet us in, Shane, to tell us if the game's up or not. Yeah. Pietersen with more pressing issues on his mind. Geez, looked positive right from the start tonight.
I've just got to go back to that again. I cannot believe this.
But what was he like when on the boot camp? Did you feel like from his experience there that he'll go well in the jungle?
Is he a man of the bush?
I'm sure, fair to say he's not a man of the bush, right. But I'm sure he's learned from his experiences he had in the bush.
Oh, you reckon it'll help him? He can go back to those days in the boot camp.
Well, you never know. You never know. But that television that we're going to see over the next couple of months.
With Warnie in the jungle.
I know what I'm going to be doing most nights, Howie.
Okay.
And recording it if I can't watch it.
Right, 18 off 20. Goes down the ground. Well, to be honest.
Well, what do you get to take in the jungle, Howie?
Well,
and what would Warnie take, punter?
Freddie gave me a few clues that you weren't allowed to take too much, although he might have had a little stash of something tucked away. But I guess Shane, from his record, his baked beans and toasted cheese sandwiches.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
So take his own presser with
toaster.
Sandwich
so
presser with
you're going 100%. 100%.
Oh, look, we don't know, but.
Well, who else can it be?
Well,
an Australian
I guess we've been
cricketing
lucky to have a few
superstar.
Well, Glenn McGrath. There's another one. There's one it could be.
Well, to be honest, if you're not playing, you're either superstar level, you're either involved in the Channel 9 commentary box or it's you blokes in the Channel 10 commentary box. So, unless it's one of you sneaks, you or your mate Gilchrist.
Don't look me up and down like that.
Okay.
Glenn McGrath would go well in the jungle.
Well, he is a superstar.
Yeah.
I've got no doubt in my mind it's going to be the king of spin.
Oh, well,
SKW 23.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Must
take some cards
watch TV.
Can you take some cards with him in there? Might be a few poker schools going on out in the jungle.
Right.
Yeah.
Away on the leg side, into the gap.
Ooh,
one bounce.
They're just starting to flow a bit, this partnership. 44 of 35 deliveries. Shane Watson just getting a little bit short on that occasion. And Luke Wright, he's unorthodox, but very, very effective.
It's a front foot slog, really, isn't it? But it's effective, as you say. It's right into the gap. With his eyes light up there. Bang. Full swing of the bat. Just landing just inside the boundary rope out there at deep mid-wicket.
And a good fight back from the Stars after that early loss of Stoinis. They were looking a little shaky. Shane Watson got a wicket and they were struggling to score off, and they were 1 for 7 from 2, Rick.
They'll be pretty happy right now, Howie. Yep, just outside the power play. 7th over, 1 for 50. 8 and over from here. 155. They'll get more than that if this partnership keeps going. 10 and over will give them to 182, and that will be a very, very good total here at the MCG.
His pace is up, Shane Watson. 139 kilometres an hour, that last delivery. Can he close out this over? Short ball, and he's got a wicket! Watson breaks through again. Sing bales are flying.
And he's pretty pumped about it too. Shane Watson, it was a slow ball bouncer to Luke Wright. They had a good field set for that delivery, actually. He's been deceived by the lack of pace. Bottom edge drags it back onto the stumps. Luke Wright's on his way. That's a big wicket as well for the Thunder. Wright's out for 23 off 24 on the Bunnings Warehouse replay. There it is. Bottom edge back onto the top of middle and leg stump.
It's one of the great reactions in cricket for mine, Shane Watson. Has been criticised for it. I'm not sure why. He gets the big wicket of Wright, goes for 23, 7 done, 2 for 50. big night for that young man, Pete Hanscom, a highest score in the tournament, 52 off 40, times the ball exquisitely as we go down to Mel Jones. Mel.
Thanks a lot, guys. Sent into bat in the final. You must be pretty happy with the way you got off to a good start.
Yeah, it's quite a sticky wicket actually, so you know, obviously it's hard when you've got Russell coming in and flying in, and slightly too paced. Obviously they've got a lot of experience, but yeah, I think we'd have taken that start. Obviously we've got a bit of a platform, and fingers crossed we can build on that.
Does your game plan change individually when you are facing a sticky wicket like that?
Maybe a little bit. I think you can give yourself a little bit more time, especially when obviously when you're batting with KP, you know he's going to go hard at it and keep the runs ticking. So yeah, I think we're both just trying to put the foot down a little bit. Obviously the short boundary at this side, and Kev's doing what he's doing at me. He's just hit another 6. So yeah, at this point I felt a bit unlucky to get out like that, but that's the game.
Yep. He did all the job in the semi-final. Is he in that same frame of mind at the moment?
I certainly hope so, yeah. He's playing brilliantly. Obviously, we didn't want to put it on him, all on him. It'd been nice to have got a few more, but look, if he can be there around 15 overs, then we know we're going to put on a good score, and we're going to need to, obviously, with this batting night we're against.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, cheers.
Thanks to Mel and Luke. Welcome to the crease, Fawad Ahmed. First ball, got himself a little out of shape, but he still followed through with a shot and a big one.
It wasn't a bad ball either. It was greeted with an 88-metre 6 from Kevin Pietersen. A bit pushed through a little bit more. Oh, they're going for 2. This should be close. Should be out, in fact.
No. Dropped the ball, Mr. Cricket. Hanscom's very quick, but geez, he hasn't had much of a warm-up. Run those 2s.
Be interesting to have a look at this. I reckon he might have been in trouble here, Hanscom. There's no way there should have been even close to 2 runs in that anyway.
It would have been very, very close.
He might have just made it. It was a good dive. Wasn't a great throw either from Fawad Ahmed. Pietersen's taken 8 from his first 2 balls. Push through again. They'll look for 2 more here.
I reckon they'll get 2 now. But he's jogging at Peter Hanscom. I think he'd be thrown to Kevin Pietersen's end. But it's a feature of Hanscom's batting, isn't it? He's running between the wickets in that tight game against the Thunder, which the Thunder won. I don't think he actually faced a ball and ran about 16 runs.
Well, we talk a lot about the skills of the modern players, don't we? And we normally talk about the big 6s they hit and the reverse sweeps and those type of shots. But that there is one of the great skills of the game. He's got in the middle of the bat. Bold. Better come back there from Ahmed. But that skill of just being able to allow the ball to come on the bat, time it, push it only about 30 metres away, get it perfectly into the gap and get 2. That's what skill in this game's all about.
It's MCG batting as well, isn't it? MCG's so wide, you get a lot more 2s and 3s.
Oh, nice.
Well bowled again from Fawad. Leg spinners have been excellent in this tournament. Rashid, probably the best of them for the strikers, but Boyce, Zampa for the Stars. Ahmed now bowling in a final. 1 ball left, 10 off the over. There'll be some more runs right off the pad. It's not going to run for 4, surely. It does. So, 14 off the Ahmed over. That's 2 for 64.
Kevin Pietersen flying 32 off 16. The Alana and Madeline Foundation. Donate and win. Support children affected by violence and stand a chance to win a trip to the Warner Brothers Movie World. Visit amf.org.au/win that. A wonderful job, the Alana and Madeline Foundation. So if you can spare $1 or $2, jump on that website and help them out. Green comes into the attack for the first time tonight. A pretty good tournament in many respects. 6 wickets, economy rate is 7.1.
Very composed, isn't he? He's come on some tight times and delivered.
A good battle because Hanscom's very good with his feet.
Yeah, I like the angle, though, that Green creates to the right-handers. Not a big spinner of the ball. Hanscom likes to come down into the line of the ball and try and work the ball to the leg side. Doing that against Green, he's actually working across the angle. Could be a leading edge here somewhere.
Oh, gee, got himself in a muddle there. Tried to open up the offside, then scurried back.
Good start from Green.
He had his best game, didn't he, in the semi-final, Adelaide the other night.
He was pretty good against the Sixers at the SCG as well. 3 for 27 against the Sixers. What about Pete Hanscom here at the MCG, boys? He's scored 184 runs, only been dismissed once, strike rate of 136. Doesn't mind the big ground.
He's a good player, Hanscom. And part of that reason will be because he's running between the wickets, Flem.
Yep.
Turns ones into twos, twos into threes. Rotates the strike well, plays the spin well.
All right, KP against the young off-spinner. That leg side boundary, not the biggest hit for KP, only about 70 metres.
He'll be looking straight anyway, Pietersen. Like that first 6 off forward Ahmed. Look to stay fractionally leg side of the ball, try and hit straight down the ground. Push through. Nicely
Good bowling. Good bowling, wasn't it? Short of a length, 93 kilometres an hour. KP's not going to be able to get under that.
Hanscom will look to sweep anything that he thinks is outside the line of off stump. Oh, that's down the leg side.
Good work from Chris Hartley. Been a wonderful keeper for well over 10 years for Queensland, doing a great job. Sydney Thunder. How quick was he to take this and then get the stumps off?
We need Gilly. You need to explain that. Tell our viewers just how good a piece of work that is.
Well, it just puts a doubt in Hanscom's mind. You don't want to get out, run down and go down the crease.
Gilly will be in after 10 overs with Mark Ward. They're champing at the bit out the back.
Oh, how's the governor going?
He looks a bit pensive at the moment. There is that sweep shot, little inside edge. Pietersen calls through the single.
Yeah, as you said, Gilly and Junior been waiting patiently out the back there. You can see from here that there's about 4 empty picnic wrappers over on the table at the back. Junior's found his way to the
He's got the sweet tooth, hasn't he?
confectionery
I
again.
thought they budget on one a person. So
He's
he's
got to be quick when Junior's around.
He does like the chocolate. Pietersen just works it away for a single. Good start from Green, though. He'd be happy with that. Just 5 off it, into the 9, 2 for 69 as we go down again to speak to Mel Jones with a special guest. Mel.
Thanks a lot. I certainly do have a special guest, Walter Meekak, who was one of the founders of the Alana Madeline Foundation, who is the charity partner of the Big Bash. Walter, can you just tell us a little bit about the important work you do to protect the children from violence?
Thanks, Mel. Well, we've got a number of programs like the eSmart program, the Buddy Bear program, all of which are just help kids who have either suffered from violence or from sudden loss. So I just want to encourage people here tonight to dig deep, to be the light switch for those less fortunate children, the ones that aren't able to be here tonight, that suffer from domestic violence or have had to leave their home. And there's a chance that they could win the trip to Disneyland, to Warner Brothers up on the Gold Coast if they donate online tonight.
So it's all about donating online, because obviously these programs cost a lot of money.
Exactly, and I mean it's without that we can't get that work done. So it's really it's just helping those kids.
It's been 20 years, I can't believe, since Port Arthur. From that tragedy, so much positivity from the work that you've done, gun law reform changes, but you must be so proud, particularly about the foundation.
Well, I mean to have Alana and Madeline remembered as a legacy that other kids are being helped, it does make me very proud.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. All the best with it.
Thank you.
Thanks to Mel and Walter, and thanks to Kevin Pietersen, this time away over cover. And he's batting as well as he has for the tournament.
That's one of the shots of the tournament for mine. Just opened up that front leg. 84 metres out over wide, long off. Look how he opens up, gets the bottom hand through. Hit that right in the middle. Class batting.
He's faced every ball that Ahmed's bowled to date, so he's taken 21 off his 9. She's looked on right from the start, as admittedly he did in the semi-final.
Yeah, and it just looks, he got away, that nerves, he got off to a flyer off the first delivery, and now just looks like he's composed, happy to hit the ball into the gaps, hit the odd boundary. I mean, that was an amazing shot, as you're saying, opening up the face. It's quite a big hit over there over cover, providing crowd catches. But Ahmed under the pump, 21 runs off his 9 balls. That's a run every time, just punching through the leg side.
Batting first here tonight, the Melbourne Stars. Really unusual for them actually through this tournament.
Yeah.
They've only batted first in one other game, and that was a win against the Scorchers over in Perth just a couple of games ago. That's hit hard again down the ground from Pietersen. They've actually won 7 tosses this year, the Melbourne Stars, and have chosen to bowl first every time. So they're setting the target tonight. Will their bowlers be good enough to defend it?
It'll be tough to beat in the old tour. Dave Hussey. It's away through mid-wicket. So another good over for the home side. 10 off it. Pietersen flying on 42. 2 for 79. Nice, coolish night in Melbourne. Big house enjoying the work of Kevin Pietersen, who's moved to 42 off 22. Damien Fleming and Ricky Ponting having a spell. As Green continues. Little lap sweep round the corner. And we're joined by a couple more superstars, Adam Gilchrist and Mark Waugh. How are you feeling, June, as the man in charge of the Thunder?
Well, I prefer Kevin Pietersen to be out, but as far as the spectacle, it's great to see him playing so well. But he's obviously a key figure in this Stars lineup at the moment. I think the Stars are probably going pretty well. 8 and over, 2 out. It's a good start for them.
Certainly is. Yeah, the big show has turned up for the biggest show of all. Just pacing it nicely. A mixture of little touches, deft touches we just saw there, and great power. He's really taken.
He loves the Thunder. He always bats well against the Thunder. His top score of 76, I think, was against the Thunder this year. Last year, he played really well at Spotless Stadium, I think, against the Thunder. So he doesn't mind playing against the Thunder boys.
Gee, the atmosphere's electric, isn't it, out there? There's a couple of, well, the early setback at Stoinis, the crowd when he's a bit quiet. Oh, and good fortune for Hanscom. Gave the bowler his stumps there, gave Green a look, but he was good enough just to get a tickle on it.
Yeah, a little bit of luck, but he did give himself the room. And it's a good player, it's been Peter Hanscom. He's been out a few times to it this season, but generally speaking, he likes to attack the spinners and play a lot of shots. Improvisation there, giving himself room. He knew there was no one back there, and Green bowls quite quick through the air. Catch! This time it's in the air, it's out. Straight to Mike Hussey there at mid-wicket. So that's a good wicket for Green. Peter Hanscom to be very, very disappointed with that. He could have hit that anywhere. He's chipped it straight to Mike Hussey.
Yeah, it was really quick feet from Hanscom. A feature of his game against spinners, his footwork. We saw him back away previous delivery, this time quickly down the wicket. Probably a bit unlucky on the Bunnings Warehouse replay to pick out the only man that isn't on the boundary on that leg side in front of the wicket. So important breakthrough. The captain enjoyed it. It was a very nice partnership forming, but it's ended. Hanscom goes for 9, 3 for 85.
David Hussey comes to the crease. He's had a big season, thrust into the captaincy after Michael Clark decided he wouldn't be running out for the Melbourne Stars this year. Top score of the tournament of 36 off 25. He's got a big job to support Kevin Pietersen now.
It's interesting you say it's Michael Clark. I saw something on Twitter today. Someone mentioned that Michael Clark has been named captain of both these franchises during his career and has never played a game for either. So
thank you very much.
Interesting little stat there, but this man is the captain at the moment and he's got a job to do here. Kevin Pietersen, their big overseas signing, is on fire at the other end. He must build with him now. Straight into his work.
We've just got to give the strike to Kevin Pietersen early on. I've just been informed by our very reliable statistician that KP averages 187 against the Thunder.
Whew. Wow.
As of this moment. So he certainly does like the lime green.
It's still not Khawaja-like, is it? I think he's averaging 270 this year, isn't he, Khawaja? And he's 275 in his 3 hits, once out, 2 tons and a 60-odd. Look forward to seeing his batting later on tonight, but this batting is of the highest order. Pietersen is dining out on the spin here at the MCG in the big final. After 11, 3 for 92.
Final ball, the last over. Kevin Pietersen with his 3rd 6 of the night, just in control right from the start. He goes down the ground. Russell was there, but he just turned around and went to grab it. As Chris Hartley joins for the first time this evening. Evening, Chris. Great night down there.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, isn't it? There's a big crowd, it's good weather, and we've got a pretty good game of cricket panning out at this stage.
Hard to look like.